write what you know. Isn't that what they always say? So what did I know when I started out on my romance writing career? Well, I knew that the romance subgenre I enjoyed the least was westerns. The most popular romances featured British aristocracy, and that I have zero first-hand knowledge of living in any era other than the one I was born into. Therefore, what did I choose to write for my inaugural series? A late Victorian era Western romance featuring continental aristocracy. Ah, poetic justice. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Emilee Harris, author of STEAMY Historical Romances, and this month, in honor of the release of my first box set, I am sharing some of the behind-the-scenes information relating to how I created a 3-novella series entitled Colorado City Romance, based off of everything I didn't know. To start off, I said I wasn't a fan of westerns, right? So being from a European family, I never had much interest in the American West, despite growing up in California. This country is so young as far as the history of the Western world is concerned. It never really seemed to hold a candle to the grandeur of the old world for me. It wasn't until I came to Colorado and began volunteering as a docent at the Molly Brown House Museum that I began to develop an appreciation for Western history. In particular, of all things, the importance of both mining and the development of the Transcontinental Railroad in preventing Denver from becoming a ghost town. Therefore, when choosing my settings, I purposely kept this mining economy in mind. Denver, which serves as my main character's destination in Book 1, her Queen City Ranger, and makes brief setting cameos in Books 2 and 3, was founded by a gold rush in 1859. As is recognized in the golden dome of our Capitol building, renewed every so often by donated gold from Colorado's 2 remaining active gold mines. Leadville, a mountain mining town featured in both the series prequel and a subscriber-only supplementary novella, was a major producer of silver, hence my choice of the title, His Silver City Gold. To differentiate this prequel from the bonus title, I used an actual nickname for the city for the bonus, which was Cloud City. Lastly, Pueblo, Colorado, known for its early involvement in mining and manufacturing related to steel production, provides the backdrop and title for Book 3, His Steel City Promise. As to the railroad, aside from my burning down Union Station in Book 2, 2 of my characters arrived in the West via orphan trains, which were meant to take orphans away from the immoral influence of large cities. Now, I enjoy the glittering descriptions of aristocratic life as much as anyone, and decided that I didn't want to give that up just because I was writing a Western. So I decided to include a Prussian Duke and his daughter in the series. Why a Duke? Because American readers like Dukes. Why Prussian? Because my family is German, not British. Again, writing what we know, right? From here, of course, I could delve into all the additional intricacies of inspiration for each individual book, which I plan to do, but that would make this video never ending. Therefore, I will leave most of those videos related to the individual books for when I get to those individual books. And for today, I have a brief synopsis of the series, along with my promise of additional general Colorado inspiration videos to come this month. In book one, Her Queen City Ranger, which was supposed to be a standalone, we meet Clayton Palmer, a Colorado Ranger hot on the trail of a ruthless lady murderer. Thing is, this murderess, one Sophie St. Augustine, is actually a kidnapped Prussian princess who's been framed and is trying to get to her father's lawyer in Denver before the bad guys catch up with her. This necessitates, of course, getting the Colorado lawman on her side. And as you've likely already guessed in the process, they fall madly in love right after she knocks him out and steals his horse. Book 2, Their Sweetheart City Love, resulted from my attempt to make amends after receiving a goodly amount of reader ire for the prequel. What I envisioned as a happy for now outro that sets the scene for book 1, readers viewed as a cliffhanger, and that therefore resulted in shouts for my head. So this book revisits the couple from that prequel 25 years later. Lucy Manning, owner of a boarding house and adoptive mother to our ranger from book 1, is engaged to the manager of the Brown Palace Hotel, but still in love with Friedrich St. Augustine, Sophie's father. With her old flame in town, she jumps at the opportunity to accompany her fiancé on a business trip up to Loveland. Unfortunately, said fiancé decides to invite the Prussian Duke along. He then gets unexpectedly called back to Denver, leaving Lucy to finalize the contracts, which results in her running into a massive paperwork issue that forces her to ask Rick for help. This forced togetherness ends up shedding light on decades-old misconceptions, rekindling their love, and revealing a secret which will make it impossible for either of them to go back to life as it was. Now, given that I never intended to write a series, I went into book 2 thinking it would be the final book. Au contraire. During the writing of this book, an entirely new character popped up and demanded his own book. Therefore, in the final book of the series, His Steel City Promise, we meet William Stanford, adopted son of our Brown Palace Hotel manager, who is visiting Denver from his place of employ, Pueblo, Colorado. A longtime friend of both Lucy and Clay, he receives information that shatters his trust in both of them. On his return trip to Pueblo, the train gets robbed and one of the robbers ends up shot. The dying man begs Will to take a letter to the sweetheart he left behind. He agrees, and this leads him to the doorstep of a young unwed mother who has been turned out of her parental home and ostracized by the locals. As an orphan growing up wondering why his mother rejected him, he gains a better sense of understanding as he witnesses the plight of this strong and proud woman struggling to feed her child. When the leader of the train robbers decides to take revenge on her for her former lover's betrayal, it's up to Will to rally the troops and head out to the rescue. The complete Colorado City Romance series is now up for pre-order on Amazon and linked below. The prequel can be purchased separately or you can get it as a free gift when you sign up for my author newsletter, along with the prequel to my Regency series, and if you stick with the newsletters, access to a bonus library which currently includes a deleted scene, a deleted love scene, an additional Colorado Cities novella, and if all goes well, we'll have a second bonus novella added this month. As always, thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and or subscribe, and until next week, happy reading.